Oh, 0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you guys. I don't ever want to hear your voice to you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Stop following me. Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalk me. That's why I do. Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes.
No, 0 minutes. I don't want to ever talk to you guys. I don't ever want to hear your voice to you. Please, God bless you, but please leave me alone. Please leave me alone. Stop following me. Stop. I don't. Stop stalking me. Please, I can't live here anymore because you stalk me. That's why I do. Leave me alone.
I will. You talk to me for 2 minutes. That's okay. I don't care.
Leave me alone. I don't want proof of this. Please leave me alone.
Hey, men. Leave women the fuck alone. When they're in public, when they're doing anything, you don't have the right to their attention. You don't have the right to step into their personal space. You don't have the right to them. Especially if they're making it very clear they don't want to be talked to. But even when they're not, unless a woman is giving you enthusiastic and continuous body language and signs that she wants to talk to your ugly dumbass, then leave her the fuck alone. Find a date a different way. Okay? It's not clever. It's not cool. It's not cute. It's garbage. It's absolute garbage behavior, and you're a garbage person if you do it. I don't care if it's in public, it doesn't fucking matter. You don't have the right to her, and you need to leave her alone. And this is bacon.
That's okay. That guy's been raping me.
Leave me alone. Please.
Just talk to me for 2 minutes.
First, let me say that I'm happy that the lady in this video is okay. Second, let me break down what rape culture is. Rape culture is the fact that that man felt that he was entitled to some of this woman's time just because he said, let me talk to you for 2 minutes. Doesn't matter if it's 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 20 minutes. If she said no, no means no. Rape culture is the comments that she has on her video about how she should have just spoke to him or dressed differently. Rape culture is me taking the heat for calling out other men for their terrible behavior. Rape culture is trying to explain stuff as, oh, it's just locker room talk. No, it's not locker room talk. You should talk the same way wherever you are. We all know that rape is not about sex, it's about power. So for you to force yourself on somebody, even if you're just talking to them, is disgusting, dude.
I have said no. This is Cynthia Ortiz. These are the Charles Perry Stalker Podcasts. It's the April 12, 2023. I've said no every day, all day, for 13 years. No is no. I should have had to say it once. Brooke Shields said, silly me. I thought that I should only have to say no one time. Not over and over and over. Charles, I am disgusted with you and by you. I feel nothing for you but like throwing up. You make all my skin crawl. You're a creepy creepster. And I said no. You got caught again. What the guy said is, in March 2020 and July 2022, and then you mocked me after I said this. They said her privacy, Cynthia's privacy, is not to be invaded anymore. You do not contact her or her family ever again. She's not to be broke anymore and have to ask for money. Period. Respect her, respect the law, and fuck the hell off, bitch. Or we'll do it for you. Every time we find out before, that's what they're doing. They're already doing it, Mr. Perry. You just haven't been handcuffed yet. You will be. They got quite a coercion case, because once somebody says no and you continue to push, you got deprivation of food and shelter with intent to coerce. You got grand larceny with intent to coerce. You got an interference with commerce with intent to coerce. You got interference with contracts with intent to coerce. On and on and on. I said no. No is no. Move on, bitch. Grow a pair and move on. Everybody's sick and tired of, hearing about how you feel. You sold me. You don't own me. It's illegal to sell people in this country. Dumb fuck. You gotta know that. So, what the guy says today that we get is that remember, if I say it in the third person, I'm quoting another individual. He said Charles wanted her in jail in Mays County, so she couldn't say another word. He wanted her whole family to tell her she needed to go with Charles, and that he'd make all this the second false arrest go away, and that he'd give her, this great life. And the second he gets her to Houston and gets his money from Houston realtor guy, he'd kill her. And after she signs the affidavit, then he can run for governor. Now he's got her signature on his lie by force, not by will, not because she wanted, because he made her. He forced her against her will to sign it. Then she's dead and the whole thing's over with. And he can just go on to his business as usual. That was what his plan was. She found out about it before, because what happens is, the more you invade my privacy, the more you contact me against my will. I fucking hate it. I don't want to hear from you. I've made that very clear. The longer I'm broke, the longer Michael Neely is in jail, the more we get. The reason we're getting it, Mr. Perry, is to build a criminal case against you so you go to jail. You're the criminal here, not me. And everybody knows that. And if you think they don't, you're off your nut. You've got Huntington's disease. We found that out because the more you contact me, the more you invade my privacy, the longer I'm broke, the longer Mike's in jail, the more we get. That's how I found out you have Huntington's disease. It causes paranoia, hallucination, delusion, psychosis, and impaired cognitive reasoning. It's like you don't know you're caught. That's what the guy was trying to explain. He's caught. He's always caught. Why he thought this time would be any different, nobody knows. He's so deep in delusion, he can't tell fact from fiction anymore. He thinks, if she's talking about it, that's a problem for him, and he's not getting it. He's not seeing that. He's not all there. It's embarrassing. And he gets all these other people doing all his shit for him. Kissing his ass, cleaning up his shit, his pile of shit, wiping his diaper out, and then, keeps shitting himself. And it's all over the place. And he can't cover it up anymore. It's embarrassing. We all do all this work trying to get his little plan worked out. And then he's telling her, I'm excited to see you. Tipped her off. She knew, they start looking. Once you start typing in my hacked phone, excited to see you, then we all know that, oh God, something's wrong. Because absolutely do I not want to see you. You stay away from me. I've gone to great lengths to get away from you and not have a conflict. Had you left me the fuck alone years and years ago, like a big boy, act like a grown man, then you wouldn't have all this stuff you need to cover up now. And you've had people for a couple of years now complaining I can't even lie for him anymore. I can't even explain this shit away anymore. I can't even cover this up anymore. He's done so much, and he's gotten caught so much before. And then she's like, I told you so. I just said. I told you so. I did tell y'all. Right? What fucking planet are you on? You gotta stop thinking that everybody else is as stupid as you are. They're not. You're making a fool of yourself. How many times have I said, here's your shovel, dig away, and boy, how do you get... You do, every time. Dig and dig and dig and dig and dig. So, we found out about that. Because you start typing in my phone, I'm excited to see you. Everybody gets starts cringing. Uh-oh. And then they had her whole family there ready to talk to her, and she didn't come. Because we found out before. You don't get to use my family to coerce your criminal activity. That's all you're doing. You're using my family to coerce criminal activity. Family, I'm not going to repeat myself again. He's in organized crime. They traffic people. He sold me. Whatever bullshit story he's telling you is bullshit. It's not real. It's a coaxing. It's a lure. It's bait. It's trickery. So what he's done is he sold me to a Houston realtor. I heard the Houston realtor yesterday saying by now we were hoping she'd be taking her test to get a realtor's license. I heard you say it. Dude, what is wrong with you? What the fuck is wrong with you? I don't want anything to do with you and a realtor's license. Nothing. When you guys do something to me, it never turns out like you think. And it never will. It will never turn out like you think. It never has. It's not just been a day or a week, guys. It's been 13 years. Day after day after day. When you do the crime to me, you get caught. You got nothing else. You get caught. You're dealing with somebody, maybe more than one of you, who have a mental illness and a lot of delusion. And you sit around and you bullshit yourselves, and then you start believing it. And it's not got a damn thing to do with reality. Not a damn thing. Charles, I said no. I said no. I'm not going to be coerced. I'm not going to be trafficked. I am not in love with you. You're not bait. You're a bag of barf. And you have made a fool of yourself long enough, don't you think? It's embarrassing. You embarrassed the hell out of me and everybody else too. I don't know what fucking planet you fucking live on. When I'm talking about it and when the guys have that, because who got that from you to me? Huh? You can talk to police from anywhere on the phone, Mr. Perry. And, you don't get to exploit me. You don't have my consent to watch me in the privacy of my home, or my car, or anywhere else for that matter. You don't have my consent to sell me. You don't have my consent to traffic me or deliver. You're fucked, and you're just stupid, and you don't know that. Huntington's disease. And I don't know what the hell's wrong with the rest of you. I don't know. She's supposed to be in jail and not able to talk about all this. We need her to shut up. So that was the plan. We've said it before. But the guy said it again today. We needed her. Charles wanted her in jail in Mays County, not Tulsa. He wanted her car impounded. He wanted her in jail in Tulsa. He wanted her shut up. And he did want all those other girls to watch him do that to her. So they'd be scared too. This is what we do to people who talk. And then he'd get her in a room with her family, and her family would talk to her about, oh, he'll make you have a good life. Just go with him. We're worried about you. No, you're not. No, you're not. But believe me, I'm aware of the coercion for everybody. It's always the threats and the bribes with Mr. Perry. Do what I want and I'll make it worth your while. Don't do what I want and I'll ruin you. That's what organized crime does. That's what he's doing. He does it to not just me, everybody. So what do you think I would do, Mr. Perry? Go, oh, okay, alright, since you said it, now I'll go. You are such a stupid little fuck if you thought that. There's no way. There's no fucking way. I've never done that. Why would I start doing that now? I have help you can't get to. So when you're gone, when they finally arrest you and you're gone, I'll have my privacy back. I'll have my money back. I won't have another day when I'm broke. And I will have my, no more contact from you, no more problems, no more drama. It's over. I'm free. No more bullshit. No more delusion, icked and slimed all over me and my family. No more mental illness and mental retardation slimed and icked all over me and my family. And, everybody's sick of that, Mr. Perry. That's how we get the stuff before. We've gotten it every day since the McNamara email that you know of. We've gotten it before that, but that's the first one that you know of, David. 2015. Every fucking day, we're here, you're talking about taking my car. Every day. Wrecking it. Right? We know you did the wrecks, David. Calvin. The manifold. Trying to sell it out from under me. The manifold. Can't get list price for that car. The manifold's fucked up. I'm like, what the fuck is a manifold? I had to Google it. Some of your names, I have them from police recordings. I've not met you. Calvin, who's bald and fat. Lucius. Blankenship, Desiree. You know how I know Blankenship and Desiree? Because they got caught trying to do something to me. And I heard a live feed actually. Did you see Blankenship? He turned white. He turned fucking white. They caught him again. This has been a couple of years ago. So, I mean, and then I guess I said something, and they were like, Cynthia said blah, blah, blah. Yeah, Desiree said the same thing. You know, it was one of those things where y'all didn't make any sense, probably. I don't remember now what it was. But, I mean, what planet are you on, Mr. Perry, that you think you can still get away with this crime? You're caught, dumb fuck. You're caught, Mr. Perry. We caught you before you did it, not after. I'm not in jail right now, am I? I didn't go to work that night, did I? My whole family showed up. Every single one of them. He wanted them to gang up on her and bully her. So she ends up dead. Do they know that's his plan? She'll end up dead. He'll make her sign that affidavit. He'll kill her. Houston Realtor guy, you're not going to get me. Do you understand what they'll do? They'll take your money, and then in a week, I'm dead. You're not going to have a life with me. Stop planning that, and stop making a fool out of yourself, too, because you really are. I think they've told you that. You need to end your mental affair with her, because there's nothing there. And you're making a fool of yourself. You look ridiculous. If you're a businessman, surely you can control your mind a little better than that. Yeah, by now I was hoping she'd have her be taking the test for her realtor's license, and she's going to help me in my realtor's business. No, I'm not. You and I are never going to have a life together. Okay? One is, I said no. Two is, Perry will kill me. He'll take your money and kill me. He wants the affidavit signed, and then he wants this over. And the only way this would be over, and he thinks he'd get away with murder and rape and trafficking and all that shit, is if I'm dead. And I can't pop up ever again. Because, see, I just pop up from nowhere, you know, here. Oh, shit, she found out. Oh, shit, yeah. Probably hoped that I would tell him who it is helping me, and he'd shut that down, right? We'll make it worth your while. I'll make it worth your while. Yeehaw. There's so much, Mr. Perry. You can't overcome it at this point. I get that you're mentally ill and that you're mentally slow, but everybody else is not. And that reality, you better grasp it, and you better grasp it right now. Everybody's not stupid like you. Everybody else is not stupid like you, Mr. Perry. The rest of the world is not stupid like you. Everybody else knows you're caught. People have laughed at you and made fun of you behind your back, all of you. Not just Charles, Dave, Matt, Josh, Joe, all of you, Calvin, Geppetto, making fun of you behind your back. Because you're pathetic. And you don't get to beat down women and kids and think that makes you tough. You've been called every name in the book. You have no idea. Not a clue. So, I said no. I've said no every day, all day long, for 13 years. When you fuck with me, you get caught. Every day for 13 years. What you know of started with McNamara. That email says he's going to arrest me falsely. He's going to go into court and lie and get an arrest warrant and throw me in jail and illegally detain me, smear my name, and try to coerce me. And then you did it. And now you've been trying to do it again ever since. When I'm still illegally incarcerated. You tell people, I got arrested for doing something you have to do by law in the state of Oklahoma. And you did it in Texas. I don't live in Texas. I've starved, but I'm not going to Texas. Speaking of which, I think I started talking about Fabian yesterday, and then I got off on a tangent on something else. I do that sometimes. With Fabian, last July, when they're talking really about she's gonna have her family help traffic her, and then you had them all there the other night to help traffic me. Please understand, I'm not mad at my family. I'm mad at you. They do need to understand what they're doing, though. They do need to know. They need to know. regardless of what they say to my face, because you make them, they need to know I know that you make them, but they also need to know that they're being used to traffic, and I will end up dead. Perry wants me shut up. I am not going to shut up, and it might get me killed, and I'm fine with it. Sometimes what happens when someone dies, all of a sudden everything blows up on you. Right? Didn't you go around telling everybody, I think we got away? I think we've got it where we can kidnap her, and she won't be reported as a missing person, so it won't be on the news. You were recorded saying that too, Mr. Perry. Is that what that is? You get my whole family there, so none of them would report me missing? Yeah. Okay, well, we found out before, because you've got police, 40 cops investigating you. Everything you do, they see it, they know it, they got it. And you knew that, and you did it anyway. It doesn't get any more stupid than that. I don't even have words for that, sir. So what I was saying about Fabian is, I was like, if y'all really wanted me in Texas, you'd get Fabian to up here. Okay, there's a reason I said that. There's a reason I said that. After I say that, okay, keep in mind, I haven't been in Texas since 2014. Since 2014. I got the Fabian puzzle in jail with his name intersecting with the word hope, right, in 2016. But I haven't been in Texas since 2014. Almost 10 years. I've been in Oklahoma 9 years. So, I'm telling you, get him up here. Right? And, that would be the only way that'd be the only person that would be able to get me back to Texas, because he's the only person that has not once allowed himself to be used to hurt me for you, or get information that you could use to hurt me for you. He's not done anything. No one else can say that. Not even my own family. So, after I say that, then they did. They tried. They went in and said, we'll give you 15 if you can get her down here to Texas. And he said no. Then they offered 20 and then 25, and he still said no. Right? And then like he doesn't know. Like, you think he's stupid. And he doesn't know that I already know what you would use him to hurt me. And then I'd end up dead. Second I get in Texas. What, a week? Would you let me live, Mr. Perry, a week or two? Would you let me live? Do you think you're gonna get me on my hands and knees crying, please let me live? Is that what you think? And then you're gonna go jack off? Sex sadist? Are you a necrophiliac? Are you just lucky was scared to death that you're running a fantasy through your head of having sex with my dead body? And he wasn't gonna let that happen in his jurisdiction. That's what he said. I'm afraid this guy's a necrophiliac. And he's running a fantasy through his head of having sex with her dead body. Not in my jurisdiction. Ew. Ugh. How embarrassing. What a weirdo. What a fucking weirdo. Why aren't you embarrassed too? You embarrass the hell out of everybody, sir. Serial killer. How many women have you done that to? Who's Monique? What about Mary Beth, sometimes goes by Beth, dumped at a lake just outside Billings? What about her? Where is she? I'm reporting her missing. I'm reporting her murdered. And Perry tells me he burned her clothes, took all her clothes off, and burned them at a nearby campsite, so he'd get rid of all the trace evidence. You know what my grandpa told me? My papa, my great-granddad, who was a detective, captain of detectives, Roswell Police Department. You know what he said? He told my granddad, who told my dad, who told me. It was like a family conversation, and it's a very, very common phrase among police. Nobody gets it all. The offender will always leave something behind and take something with him. Nobody gets it all. Find it. That's your job as a cop. Find it. Right? And then you're gonna get your guy. And if it's legit, you won't have to plant anything, Mr. Perry, like you tried to do to me. How many conversations have they gotten of you guys talking about how you're gonna plant evidence? to try to frame me for a murder. You know, good and well, Richard's like, I can't even put her at the crime scene because you guys ran her friends off. It's not like I can go to her friends and go, has she ever been here? Oh, a public defender won't think of that. Yeah, have you met her? She will. It's like you don't know her at all. Yeah, thank you, Richard. I appreciate it if that was you. I'm not told who I'm listening to. Sometimes I can start recognizing voices. But they don't tell me who it is. That's intentional. That's intentional. So, but like Matt, I never met Matt Powell my entire life. Lived in Lubbock 6 years. We had the monthly Lubbock area Republican women's luncheons, where every kind of fucking politician came through there. Greg Abbott came and spoke at our lunch. Greg Abbott, who's now the governor of Texas, came and spoke at our lunch. But Matt Powell's too good. Just never. Yeah, I'm not gonna show up over there. I mean, like, Judy went. That's how I met Judy Parker. I used to sit with her pretty much every meeting. No, the reason I did, I'm new. I come into town. I don't know anybody. The chair next to her was empty. I sat next to her. And then after that, now I finally met somebody. I'm sitting there talking to her. So then the next meeting, I'd sit with her again. That's how I know Judy Parker. And, we just weren't good enough for Powell. Anyways, so Mr. Powell and I never met. But you know how I got to recognize his voice? Talking to you, Mr. Perry, on the police recordings. Yeah. Look me in the eye, Charles, and tell me there's no way this is personal. Could this be personal? She was displaced, Charles. Tell me the truth. Look me in the eye. Is this personal? Did you go into court and commit perjury? And I signed off on it. Basically, is what he wanted to know, isn't it? So pretty soon I got to recognize his voice. Okay, so how many women have you done this to? What happened with Mary Beth that was different? Because you like to do the drugging thing. You like to do arsenic poisoning and opioid overdoses and shit like that and make it look like something else, don't you? What about David Nielsen? Was that really an accident? What about Todd Reno? That was not suicide, was it? I questioned that from the beginning. I called Jeff Klotzman. Jeff, I didn't really know Todd, but all I've heard since he died is we were all shocked. He's not really the suicidal type. What do you think? He never really could answer that question. He was 3 days away from going on a date with Jordan. Mr. Carl Tepper told me. I set them up, Todd and Jordan. They were about 3 days away from a date. And then this happened. You were worried that they were going to compare notes, Mr. Perry? Huh? That you had told Todd not to do business with me? I talked to Todd on the phone, but I'd never seen him. I guess he was on the news. I guess he was on the news, and he quit being on the news about the time I moved to Lubbock. Is that right? And then your daughter saw you almost kiss me in a room full of people, and you didn't want them talking, did you? Yeah. So, you kill him? Make it look like suicide? What about Justice Scalia? When I'm in jail, everybody in the fucking jail, he's gonna send you home, harass the ever-living hell out of you. And then when you complain about it, he'll say you're harassing him. They want to use you as a test case before the Supreme Court. And he's going to tweet from your phone, get rid of your phone. And I did. And you still tried to text from it. I've already shown that. So, I mean, it's the same old, same old. So what happened with Mary Beth? Did you didn't have a deal already in place with Billings police, or who has jurisdiction over what's all going out there at the lake? Forest people? I mean, parks and recreation. I mean, I don't know. You didn't have them paid off yet, huh? And she, you tried to drug her and she just didn't die, so you just beat the hell out of her. Cracked her skull in two. Is that what happened? You went into a panicked frenzy? So that one is a little off. A little different from your normal victims. Did you have David Nielsen hit? David Nielsen was a good friend of mine. Did you have him hit? Was that really not an accident after all? Did Lubbock police cover that up too? How many have they covered up for you? How many have Lubbock Police Department covered up for you? See, these guys helping me are not covering shit up, are they? And that scares the hell out of you. It's different when you do the crime to me, but all you had to do was leave me alone. That's it. Get your hands out of my wallet and leave me the fuck alone. So after all that, after I say something about Fabian, then they actually still tried. And then after that, they said, why don't you go up there and reject her? And that one he was willing to do because he could see me and it wouldn't make me dead. Right? Do you think he and I wouldn't know? You think we're dumb? That we don't know? After all this time, now you want him to reject me? 9 years later, now he wants Fabian to come up all the way to Tulsa and reject me. When, he's like, I'm not going to coax her to Texas. She'll end up dead. I'm not getting her killed. Right? That he wouldn't do, but he would come up here and reject me. That way I don't end up dead and he can see me, right? And you want to do it 9 years after, right? Now, after I said something, and you thought nobody would suspect a thing? I mean, come on this is why it's so easy, it's not even fair. You're like 10 years past a good time for a butterfly net in a nursing home. That you think this stuff would work. People laugh at you. They laugh at you behind your back. At the stupidity. Why did he think that would work? Why did he think that would work? Nursing home, you're 10 years past a good time for a nursing home. So here's the disclaimer, everybody. Okay? This is what police are supposed to do. You can use technology like hacking my Dasher app to make it where I can't make any fucking money, Calvin. So we got this thing this morning because you did that. When you invade my privacy, when Mr. Perry contacts me at all, any way, shape, or form, or my family, when he causes a problem for me at all, the longer I'm broke, the longer Mike's in jail, the more we get. How much more did we get since March 2020 when you guys mocked me when I first said that? You mocked me. Right? How much more do we have? We got names after that, didn't we, David? Okay, so yeah, you can clone a phone, and then that's an illegal device, and the danger is a problem. So there's a warrant, search warrant, or whatever, wiretap, something. Okay, so then there's this one, connecting the dots. That's what police are supposed to do with a police report, Richard. Not just hand it right over to the offender. There was an attempted murder, sir. There was an attempt on my life, sir. And look at Lucky and Mike. I mean, who's holding someone accountable for this? You don't just have a dead person and just everybody just blows it off like it's no big deal. Why would you do that? Mr. Perry, if you're a Christian, you say, which is laughable. Do you know, if you read the Bible, and it's especially in when they go into the promised land, there's a bunch of it. It's fucking boring it's boring shit. And it's all about boundaries. Boundaries were important to God. Here's your lane, stay the hell in it. This is your portion, stay in it. You have wandered out of your own backyard, and your wife lets you. And you're bothering people that don't like you. You have a woman in your life, Jacqueline Perry, who promised to love you in sickness and in health till death do you part, and you made the same promise back to her, and you're violating that promise. So no one trusts you now. If you betray your own family, you betray anybody. So nobody trusts you and nobody believes you. And that's why we can get information and you can't. And everybody's really tired of watching you hurt me. Okay? Everybody's really sick and tired of watching you guys hurt me. And watching me suffer. And watch me not have what I need. And watch me be broke. And watch me be tormented and tortured all the time. And threatened and harassed all the time. And can't just have a normal day like everybody else. You need a schedule, Charles. You need activities and a normal schedule. What about Steve Jones? Was his thing an accident or did you kill him too? How many are there? You know, 3 or more with a cooling off period in between is a serial killer per the FBI. Right? There has to be a cooling off period. But there's that. Houston realtor guy, you are something. If you are a businessman, you ought to be smarter than this. You really thought I'd be in Houston doing a realtor's exam? Wow. They'll kill me, sir. They'll make me sign their lie. And then they'll kill me. Because then that way I won't pop up again. There won't be any way I can get word to anybody about anything, right? So, and don't sit there and fantasize about a relationship with me, because there's not going to be one. I don't like you. I don't know you. What I know is that anybody that would participate in this kind of activity, this criminal activity, is not going to have any kind of respect for me. I'm not going to like you. I won't do what you want. You'll piss me off. I think you're scum. Mr. Perry, you need to remember who it is you're talking to when you threaten me. Because when you do the crime to me, it's different. But it's the same every time you do it. Right? You get caught. Before, not after. So we have all this. And in response to this podcast here, we can get information. Because once Charles is in jail and gone, I won't have another day that I'm broke. People are sick of me being broke. So that's the police recording. He wanted her in Mays County. And use her as an example so the other girls would be scared shitless. Right, David? That's your thing, isn't it? Right, Calvin? Lucius? Isn't that your thing? Use somebody who's very strong. Shit all over him. Threaten him. Do something horrible to him. And then you can go to the other girls and go, well, look what we did to her. We'll do that to you. If you go against us. If you talk. Poor Sadie. Right? Poor Sadie. I think you better back off, Sadie. Let Sadie be Sadie. Right? Because when you fuck with me, we get stuff like that. We find out before, not after. People are sick and tired of watching me be broke. And watched in the privacy of, violated in the privacy of my own home. So, in March 2020, he said, you're going to leave her the fuck alone. Look at that. What's the date on that? January 6th, Mr. Perry. Your privacy is not to be invaded anymore. You do not contact her in any way, shape, or form ever again. What is it that when I tap my fingers you think that's a secret message? What's the secret message? Because I don't even know. Mr. I hallucinate. Golly, people make fun of you over that too. Okay, so he thinks he's watching me in the privacy of my home, and he thinks when I tap my fingers that's a secret message, and we're all laughing. What's the message? We don't know. We don't even know. So in your delusion, in your hallucinations, what the fuck is this supposed to mean? Why don't you get off your ass and go work? Go be normal. I don't think you have the power to just be normal. You're a deviant, a sicko. So here we have what he said in March 2020. Look how much more we got since then. Because you didn't understand what he said. What about you, David? What about you, Lucius? What about you, Calvin? Do you not understand words? Grown-up words? You guys mocked me. You laughed. And then he said it again in July 2022. You got caught on the trafficking. He's taking her personal documents. He's going to sell her. And he's going to kidnap her. And he's going to get her family to help. Watch. And you've done nothing but that since then. But we've gotten more and more and more. And you get caught over and over and over before. Not after. And that establishes premeditation, malicious intent, and you know it's a crime, and you did it anyway. You know it's a crime. You don't get to use the insanity defense despite your mental illness, because mental ill means you have to have there's a two-pronged test. One, you got to be mentally ill or have some sort of mental defect. Two, the defect has got to cause you to not know that it's a crime. But you do know, and you're trying to cover it up. And you want me to sign a lie, an affidavit you wrote, and I won't sign it. And I'm not going to be trafficked, and I said no. And no means no. And because you ignored what he said, her privacy is not to be invaded. You don't contact her or her family ever again. Not in any way, shape, or form, not directly or indirectly. And she's not to be broke one more day and have to ask for money. Because if she does, I'm going to make you wish you hadn't done that. You're going to respect her and you're going to respect the law, or I'm going to do that for you. That's what he said. And get Mike home and get her club full of people who pay. And they're not creepsters. And they're not going to ask these girls to do things that are illegal. You get guys in there that'll gentlemen, that'll be nice to them, and they pay. No more canned food. That was in March 2020. So look how much more we got since you guys can't fucking understand what people say. How embarrassing. So there's that. We got all that, princess. Princess stupid. If you're trying to cover it up, you know it's a crime. If you want me to lie, you know it's wrong. He wanted her in jail in Mays County, not Tulsa. He wanted to shut her up. He wanted all those girls out there, the other victims, to watch them humiliate her, so that she's the example of you go against us. Here's what we'll do to you. Look what we're doing to her. Intimidate, coerce, Title 18 of the United States Code 1512 and 1513. You are just committed a federal crime. Right? And so somebody told me before, not after. You just committed another federal crime, Calvin, with your little stunt you pulled last night. Federal, Calvin. So then he's gonna, tout her family ready to talk her into it. Just like we said in July 2022. That's what he said you were gonna do. And then he's gonna get her into Texas, make her sign an affidavit, and then she's dead. Game over. He runs for governor. Everything, all is good. And you think nobody would question my, all of a sudden why I just dropped off the planet? Nobody heard from me ever again. You think she died of a suicide. You think people would believe you no matter what the manner of death was or the cause of death? You really think people would believe you? Have you met O.J. Simpson? Have you met him? He did get away with murder, kinda. Nobody will have a fucking thing to do with him now. So he didn't really. Vegas got him, didn't they? Vegas got his ass. How many times have you called Las Vegas police to see if they're helping me? How many times you called them? Did you meet Montandon? Randall Montandon? Did you meet him? Or that other guy? I can't even remember the guy's name now. He was like the undersheriff or something. Not Gillespie, there's another one. Did you meet all those guys? Lauren Napier? David West? Did you call them and say, are you helping stop my crime? Please stop stopping my crime. You think I'm giving hints right now? Call them and see if they know anything about this. Call them. How many times you already called them? These aren't hints, dumbass. Call them and see if they're helping. Whoever it is you think it is. Charles thinks I'm just dropping hints. Oh, see, she still loves me. She's dropping hints. Yeah, but then you call them and nothing, you get nothing, right? Yeah, because that's not what I'm doing. If I wouldn't help you accidentally, not one slip up in 6 years in a strip club, what the fuck makes you think I would help you on purpose? It's a lot of work. For some people it was so easy. I could do it in my sleep. But for some people, they were a little better at it. So I had to be thinking on my feet to know how to act, how to react, how to respond, how to not let something slip. Did you know that? 6 years, no slip-ups accidentally. Some people were easy. Some people I had to think a little bit, make sure I was thinking straight, right? Depending. So why the fuck would I help you on purpose? When you're gone, I will never be broke again. My life won't be threatened all the time. My car won't be threatened all the time. My home won't be threatened all the time. My family won't be threatened all the time. We can just be normal. Normal people enjoy being normal, Mr. Perry. We don't like deviants like you and David and Josh and Joe and Matt and Calvin and Lucius and Weirdo Club, your little weirdo club that goes around horrifying and terrorizing people day after day after day. And you think I'm gonna lie for you? We've talked about the affidavit till we're blue in the face, but nobody will suspect a thing, stupid, right? Is that what you think? Dear God. 10 years past a good time for a nursing home and a butterfly net. If you really think that. Houston Realtor guy, I think I heard them tell you, stop imagining a life with her. Stop. You're putting yourself in a weird situation. Setting yourself up for a major disappointment. Didn't they tell you that? Didn't they tell you that? You've been fucked over, is what happened. But some of that is your own fault. You're a grown man. You're responsible to make sure you check things out before you just give somebody a bunch of money. Don't you think? You know, how are people supposed to trust your business decisions if all you do, you pay somebody a whole bunch of money for a person? And, it's illegal to do that. Try to get a date the normal way. Try to get a fucking date the normal way. Go on to, the hillbilly hick farmers, something, our time, whatever. And get a date, or go in a bar and get a fucking date. You want a slave that'll get a realtor's license and be your... you guys must sit around in Fantasyland all the time. I don't even know what to say. I don't even have words. I really don't. It's so embarrassing. You gotta hear people make fun of you behind your back. You gotta hear it. I think there was one thing. Y'all had a meeting. And the guys walked out and they go, did you hear them talking in that meeting? Lucius and those guys? Yeah, it sounds like a fucking Alzheimer's unit. They act like they can't, they're already caught again. They act like they're not, like they think they're not. Hello? They were laughing at y'all. They were fucking laughing at y'all. People do all the time. I said no. I'll say no again tomorrow, and the day after that, and the day after that, and everything else is coercion. Title 18 of the United States Code 1512 and 1513. In Oklahoma, I'm not getting my right to equal protection. They're shitting all over it. Fine. Somebody else got it. But it's a federal crime. Every time you coerce, every time you take my money, trying to starve me into a lie, and deprive me of food and shelter, so I'll lie. Okay? And you're caught. And we got this out of your little stunt last night, Calvin. You happy? Alright. We're done.